Good Sunday morning. Psalm 25:7 says, "Do not remember the rebellious sins of my youth." I wasn't raised in church and didn't get saved until I was 15 years old. My youth was not pure, and looking back, I'm often distressed at my offenses. Yet, my life is a whole. The present is linked to the past, and what we've done in our past, it does affect us today. The sins of our youth, they're ours. They're part of the cross we bear, and they press upon us even more when we add them to the sins of adulthood. Often we think lightly of the sins of youth. It's just sowing wild oats, happens to everyone. But in spiritual maturity, we look at things differently. We've lived the consequences of the sins of our youth. Add to that the fact that we're now living closer to God and we're aware of His presence. We judge ourselves not only with better evidence, but by a higher standard. And if we're not careful, this can lead to a miserable sense of helplessness. We see and we despair our evil past, but there's nothing we can do about it. What makes it even worse is seeing how our sin has affected other people. People have been hurt by us. Other people are now living in sin who we helped lead down that path. Our own sins are reflected in the sins of other people. Thanks be to God that we can turn to Him. We don't have to hope that He will forget. We know that He forgives. And what a blessed change it makes when into the confusion and the misery and the sorrow of the world that we brought upon ourselves, He brings light and His love. We make our confession to Him and we find peace with God. We cast our burdens on Him and we live. We live in a new hope. Lord, do not remember the rebellious sins of my youth. And for that matter, Lord, don't remember the sins I committed yesterday. Lord, I don't take your grace for granted, but I ask you once again, forgive me again. Amen. Walk in the grace of God. Hope to see you in church.